I can't go for too long, but I wanna check a couple of things. If I get a phone call, I get a phone call. Oh my god, did I just click no go? Okay. I've now clicked close twice. Oh, where's my chat? There we go. All right, so we activated this crazy puzzle, looking to see if there's anything in this room that indicates. There's a few things I want to check. Anything that could be construed as a date or something I can use. So, all right, theory blasted. Until we meet on the shore of white sands. Bunch of measurements. Oh, that's a stinger. I got some vaccines done, so we'll see how long this lasts. Um 4. What room is this? It's not the lavatory. What the hell room is this? The 2 chairs. That looks like the den, right? But it's not the den. And the doors, and those don't even match. I kind of just want to dig up this room now. I'd also like to get rid of the rook. So this is 1. Oh, it's actually... Yeah, give me this. The problem is they're like the same... Like, what does that even mean, right? Hero with a V. 12 15s in that video. Wholesale inventory's up. It doesn't matter. None of this matters. I normally would just take veranda, but this makes the keys unnecessary. I'm waiting for this announcement on UK trade to just be something silly and the market just tanks on it. That's my full expectation. Somewhere I got a sledgehammer. Whoa! What? Why are these full of items? All right, so we can dig in the utility closet. I don't have a shovel yet. Yikes. Yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot that my keys get set to 0 each time. Yeesh. Right, I have no dash. Got no monies. Trove gives me monies. Give me this. I need to stumble across, like, dates, numbers. Okay. So the whole reason we're doing this right now is I think trying to figure out how to solve this particular puzzle. That's what I also want to know. Does this room have anything else related to just making sure I'm not crazy? Yeah, this one says 6. So hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Is S anything? Is S anything in Roman numerals? No. 1/2? 1/2. T, but T isn't anything. Is T anything? It bothers me that, like, so we have the one that's written one way. Okay. Yeah, I don't think this has anything to do with the arrows. I think there's something else going on. Oh, so they can spawn despite the. Time. Something needs to give me time. Like Morris Day and the time. What time is it? I said, what time is it? That's what I'm looking for. So there's the sticking point, the natural order of things. Natural order. Okay. The natural order. The natural order of things. Huh. The natural order. Oh, right, I don't have a foundation in the house. Hilarious. There's nothing on the compass, right? For the chronograph? No. This sure seems like something. But how would I turn MCC into like the hours? 1, 2, 1, 3. So this one's 12, 13. But it really seems more like this family core business. Putting the foundation here is actually quite interesting. I can always delete it. Yeah, screw it. Have I found anything today? No. Absolutely not. God. Natural order things. Nothing. Just nothing. Elevator doesn't work at all. Next question is, do I know everyone's birthday? Do I?
Here we go. Let's try this thing. Let's see if it snaps again. Good.
Well, I don't think I actually got a rook today. No rook, right? I knew I forgot something. It's okay. And that is a time that actually points at basically numbers. About June 11th. That was my mouse disappearing. Southward, I see a swan. Those kind of overlap. Okay. 11 does indicate exactly on north. But IX would be missing it. Hmm. So what if it just is it's letter to number? But I don't know what to do with the rest of castle. But like CXI I could turn into I could turn it into 111 and I can turn it into 311. There's no indication being given that anything is correct, and that scares me. That nothing we've done has even given the shadow of a doubt that anything is correct. Nah, I'm gonna pee. Something is just not. Something's not clicking here. More minutes, and maybe I'll just take a break. Getting a bit tired here. Getting a little tired. I mean, their birth dates. The problem is their birth dates do not coincide with anything. Like June 1983. Like 1983 doesn't do anything. Month and day work. Month and day is always going to work because of the way the clocks work. On the coat of arms, the first number is one numeral. The rest are each two numerals. All right. Small idea. When we run back to room 46, can I get fresh pictures of the entire, all of the family crests? Perhaps those Roman numerals don't match what I think they do. But where else am I going to figure out when their family started? You know? 6. You know, I have a picture of this, right? Taking a fresh picture of it. Something's just wrong, man.
A very, very quick form of approval, and there won't be any red tape. Things will move very quickly both ways. The final details are being written up, and the coming weeks will have it all very conclusive, but the actual deal is a very conclusive one. We think just about everything's been approved. So good for both countries. And we'll also receive new market access for American chemicals, machinery, and many other industrial products for allowed, and they'll end up getting products that they'll be able to price, and if they like them better and we make great products, they'll be buying those products, but they're not available in the UK. Furthermore, in a historic step, the deal includes plans will bring the United Kingdom into the economic security alignment with the United States. It's the first of its kind. So we have a big economic security blanket. It's very important, and we feel very, very comfortable with that because it's been a great ally, truly one of our great allies. A lot of people say, the greatest ally, I don't want to insult saying that, but I can say it's certainly one of our greatest, right at the top. Then the first one we were talking about. By the way, we have many meetings planned today and tomorrow, and every country wants to be making deals. And we have a meeting in Geneva, Scotland. We go over to Switzerland on Saturday. It'll be very, very interesting. And then if we want to make a deal there, we do. Both countries have agreed that the economic security is national security and will be working together as allies to ensure that we have a strong industrial base, appropriate export controls, protection for key technologies and industries like steel. The steel is a big factor. Both countries will become stronger with steel and things necessary for military and ways to build ships and other things literally at a level that nobody's ever seen. And we haven't, we've eased up, and I would say that the UK certainly eased up, but now we're going to be uneasing both and we'll work together. Once again, I want to thank Mr. Storm. He's been terrific for his partnership in this matter. The relationship and external bond, it's really an external and an internal bond between our two countries will soon be stronger than ever before. We really do. We have a great relationship. I want to just say that the representatives of
How are markets taking this? Is an important thing I want to know.
it's been an honor doing business with all of them, and in particular the Prime Minister. And I'd like to introduce him now to say a few words. Mr. Prime Minister, please take it away. Thank you, Mr. President. This is a really fantastic historic day which we can announce.
This kind of sounds like the Brexit deal, just again. This is nothing. Yeah. Oh, my navigation's still on from earlier. Let me see this garbage. We got a call back on a thing.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to have a continued, maybe a fair relationship. You know what? I don't know if the media does, but the U.S. and UK have been working for years to try and make a deal. And it never quite got there. To deal with this prime minister. So I want to just congratulate him. It really is a great thing. And you're going to do your best conference, and I'll see you soon. Let me speak to you later. But thank you very much. It's an incredible thing. I can't tell you that for so many years, even as I sat, everybody talked about a deal. It just seemed like a natural deal, but it was not done. But now it was done with us. So I feel very proud to be a part of it. Again, thank you very much. Very good. So, a good side, a very nice side, and we'll be speaking about it also. Again, I think it's a very, it's just been a deal that was, we thought very complicated, it became very simple, it's opening up the country that we didn't have access to, but I really thought I was surprised. I think it's why the deal never got done before. So we've been working on this deal for 45 years, and get it done, and then really it's going to be great. Both countries, so if you could go, and then somebody else, and then have your picture, whoever you want, I think we're all here for a year ago. So you guys go ahead, and then we'll take questions right after. And I think you did pretty well in this. How big it is, it's a very large deal, very big deal, and
Sorry, I'm getting distracted
so
here.
the UK is the sixth largest economy in the world and the fourth largest that we export to, right? So it's a huge market, a top 10 market. You remember Liberation Day, they were at 10% because we have balanced trade with the UK, right? They say they have a surplus, but of course that counts billion, which is, so let's just call it balanced trade. So how do you open up the market in balanced trade? People think it's impossible. They've always thought it was impossible until President Trump came on the scene and changed the way things work. So here's what we've done. We've opened up new market access. Ethanol, beef, machinery, all the agricultural crops. They've agreed to open their markets, and that will add $5 billion of opportunity to American export. So the question is, why would they do that now? Because they've never done it before. And we still have our 10% tariff on, which will produce $6 billion in revenue for the United States. So the idea was, how do they keep their jobs, protect their economy, and do the best for their people while opening the market for us? And the way is they studied it, their team was exceptional, and they tried to figure out the markets that they're importing from other people and try to send them over to America. So why were they always favoring others and not us? And what they've done is they've found ways to do that so that we have new access, right? To be UK workers were protected. And that was the balance. So we did a deal with them in automobiles. And you know, if you're not building here, we're charging a 25% tariff. But the president, and by the way, I want to make this clear, okay, this is what I work hard. This was the president's deal. People think, oh, that's not the way it works. If you got to sit next to him, I have the best deal maker to hold on. But if you don't think that we take advantage of him, call in the prime minister, give him a deal done, you don't understand who's the president of the United States. So he's the closer. He gets deals done that he could never get done because he understands business, he understands deals. And that's why we're here today. So we agreed they could send 100,000 cars in into America and only pay a 10% tax. And that protects the car industry. And remember, we do 16 million cars a year. So this is only like 0.6%. And for the UK auto people, this is tens of thousands of jobs that the president agreed that we would protect for them. So he made that deal, right? It's steel and aluminum. And their steel business has been destroyed like everybody else has been destroyed by people dumping steel into their markets. And British Steel have announced it was closing down. So the British government, as part of this deal, nationalized British
This
Steel.
is so dumb.
They're going to match the kinds of models we do with tariffs on, with quotas on. They want to do it with America so they can be part of the resurgence of steel and aluminum in America. And that saves them, again, thousands and thousands of jobs. So if you go step by step, aero commercial planes, they sell Rolls-Royce engines to Boeing. We've agreed to let Rolls-Royce engines and those kind of plane parts come over tariff-free. And what you're going to hear today is there's going to be an announcement with the UK that they have bought $10 billion worth of total phones later today, but I'm going to let the name of the airline announce it because the upstairs can do it. Part of this deal, those holders to do it together and to do it strong. And you can see the numbers on this board. Everything about this board works exceptionally well for the United States of America. It lays out the plan that you can work with us at Waters, you can work with us with aero and commercial, you can work with us with pharmaceuticals if you have a supply chain that is secure and protected and national security. So we feel really good about the deal. You heard the Prime Minister, he feels really good about the deal, right? And we started at 10% and we ended at 10%. And the market for America is better. And this is a perfect example of why Donald Trump produced liberation. People don't understand. He gets things done in a matter of time. This little thing is in line. 3 years, maybe. And instead of we got it done in 45 days, certainly, because we worked for Donald Trump. So, Jason, I'll cover all this, and Jason, like, what we don't know what's going on. When we step back and we look back, years from now, we look back, better appreciate this. And I'll just say as well, in terms of negotiating, UK negotiators, right here, did an incredible job. This is why I didn't want to like this. And the ambassador, he knows why I treat a lot of and I would say on this deal, Mr. President, what we've shown.
This is one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen.
People said we couldn't do a global tariff and didn't go there. They said no one want to deal with us. People don't want to deal with us.
Sorry, I've now been fully distracted.
Yesterday, all those countries said we wouldn't get deals, and here we are with the sixth largest economy, and we've agreed to that tariffs.
This breakthrough deal still has 10% tariffs. What am I missing?
Hosting us this morning. And thank you very much indeed also for that very typical 11-hour intervention from you with your phone call to the President demanding even more out of this deal than any of us expected. So thank you for that. I'm just delighted, obviously, to take that forward tonight. But you took it to another level, and I think the point I would make is twofold.
What is this market doing?
Platform, a springboard to do what I think will be even more valuable for both our countries in the future, and that's creating a technology partnership between the United States and the United Kingdom so that we can harness science and technology in order to create future industries and future jobs. And to do that together in the way we work so closely already in the national security and defense area, we can just take that to yet further areas of science, enterprise, and endeavor. So we're looking forward to doing that in the coming months. You've launched this extremely well today. It just, in my view, as the Prime Minister said, just shows that two countries trust each other, they're confident in each other, familiar with each other, that can do not just for ourselves, but for those, the rest of the world, who need to benefit from a bigger and better international community. We've been trying to say us, we've been trying for years, and they've been trying for years to make a game, including when I was in the first term.
Hey, Hulu. Sorry, I'm a little bit distracted by the trade talk, concepts of a trade plan, because I need to understand exactly what the plan is, and there doesn't appear to be one. I'm still hearing that there's a 10% tariff on the UK. Okay. Then there's no deal. But we'll get back to the game in a minute. We're just trying to figure out the time thing. I've just been running around trying to find times. It's a very big deal right now. But I think it's going to grow just of its own volition. Over time, there'll be changes made, there'll be adjustments made. That's it. So we can do it together. But it's very inclusive. I got my vaccines this morning, and I'm already getting tired, so that's cool. They'll be able to buy for more people. They'll be able to price things differently. They'll be able to get some better than anybody in the world. It's something that it's a great thing that it can be done. So nice because we have many countries over here. Many countries are very happy that we use this one. Long time, all this time, without people playing put it right now. I think it's going to be something special for Kay and special for the How close are you to? Well, very close. We have numerous cases. Those going back. This is their history of press conference. Numerous and God who's right over here is fantastic. We were great on television. Watching. We gave them a little lesson in the world of economics. That's going to be going to Switzerland, meeting with China.
You know, they very much want to make the deal. We can all play games. Who made the first goal? Who didn't make it? It doesn't matter. It only matters what happened. We'll tell you that very much. We'll see how that goes. Every country throughout the last 40, 50 years has literally ripped off the United States. Training our military over there. We are now making fair deals. And in this case, it's great because we really weren't very much involved. The European Union, which is, we made the right decision years ago. I remember I was opening up Turnberry the day that we were voting. They asked me, would it happen or would it not happen? No, I think they're going to go their own separate way. I think it's better for them. And they did. I think it's going to end up being a nice decision. But a big part of that decision was always that you'd be able to make a deal with the United States. And we're unable to do that. But now they made it. Tremendous important. That was always a big part of your decision on Brexit. And we were never able to make that. It was,
So I'm looking at these shields, and I'm trying to figure out if there's some way to turn those into numbers.
and a lot of common sense is on this guy. It's going to make your country much bigger in terms of trade, and it's going to make our country. Yes,
you mentioned media, the BBC. You mentioned these reflex boards. UK currently doesn't to extend it. Are you calling on
Where is the sacred clue?
well, I think they'll take what they want. We have plenty of it. We have every type. We have every classification you could have. As you know, Bobby Kennedy is doing a tremendous job, and he's probably heading toward your system with no chemical, no this, no that.
Southward I see a swan, ashen like sands of the shore,
But we have that also.
carried by westerly winds, rogue like the moon of the north.
A lot of people.
Eastward I see a crow, days dark are the days coming forth.
It can't be understated how important this, by the way, what this deal is and what this means to American farmers and ranchers. Specific to the beef, this is going to exponentially increase our beef exports. And to be very clear, American beef is
I might have it.
the best quality and the crown jewel of American agriculture for the world. So I think a really important part of this deal isn't just the ethanol reducing tariffs from 19 to 0.
I don't know what sands of the shore
It's a huge deal, but also for beef. And as we move forward,
would be as a number, but we could point to the south, and then carried by west, so west, and then our hand, hour at midnight, hour at 12.
I think we can say that we have the best in the world, the best factors in the world.
East, I see a crow,
Second to none, you understand. It'll be a good
and then 4.
People are going to be about options choice, and you'll have more of it. That usually means lower prices.
So this is the clue that's in the clock tower.
for the Italian TV, the Italian second to the media. So in relation to the deal, we see a big revenue from the chart. But what's the rest of Europe? It's a victory there, but other European countries, it seems like they're losing.
We intend to make a deal with Europe. We have found that the European Union treated us extremely unfairly and hurt themselves in process. And they very much want to make a deal. We'll be dealing with them. We are dealing with them. So that'll cover pretty much the rest of it. But this was
I appreciate a clock tower. Yeah, cool. Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about.
It always seems so natural when the media say it. This seemed to be like, why did this happen? What did it happen? It was always amazing to me. Somebody would say, "Hey, we got to make a deal. We have to make a deal." But
So Holdo, if you're still here, this is the clue we're looking at.
Fantastic job. His representatives were total professionals and got along well. It just seemed to work, and I think one of the reasons it did is because we blew up the whole system. If we would have just been dealing with you separately, or country by country, we blew up the whole system. It was very fair to the United
And there's a swan here.
Well, we're gonna have a discussion of that separately, and as you know, we're putting tariffs on, film movie makers, and we're going to be doing some tariffs to get them, because a lot of them have left this country. They all live here, the money comes from here, everything comes from here, but they make them in other countries. So we're gonna do something to bring them back, maybe to a larger extent. But, James Bond has nothing to worry about that, I can tell you. And you know, Sean Connery was a friend of mine. Sean Connery was responsible for my getting zoning in Ecuador. He said, let the bloody glove build his golf courses. I was like 4 years into the process. It was impossible in Aberdeen. And he, I don't know, he just stood up one day and
Southward sea
approvals in about 2 minutes.
carried by westerly winds. Ashen like sands of the shore.
We have a lot of investments over there. We have Denver,
Sacred.
we have, as you know,
This has got to be the clue. It's got to be the clue.
I only have interest in the ocean. We have good investments out there. Beautiful. Yes.
All right, let's go back to the thing.
Well, it could be. I mean, we're going to see right now. You can't get any higher to 45, so we know it's coming down. I think we're going to have a very good relationship. You know, I always got along very well with President Xi. That relationship was greatly disturbed by COVID when COVID came in. But we get along very well now. We had when the relationship was hurt with a lot of people, a lot of countries when COVID came in. But I think we're going to have a very good relationship. I expect to have a very good relationship with China, Scott. I think it's a very friendly meeting. They look forward to doing it in an elegant way. China, as you know, has a tremendous trade surplus with us, and we just can't have that. But I think it's going to be very good for both countries. I would like to see China open. You know, one of the big things here is, and nobody would know this, but the UK was largely closed. It was very much closed to trade. Now it's open, and a lot of the financial reporters are very happy about that, because so much I listened to them. Why they get countries opened up, and then you compete on a fair basis. You can't compete when you go there. China would be the #1 example of that. It was very close. We almost had it last time before COVID, and that didn't work out. But we made a great deal with China, and about $50 billion worth of food products. It was a great deal, doing very well for our farmers. When Biden came in, as usual, nothing. You know, he didn't enforce it, and it got less and less left. And ultimately, destroyed a great deal. That was a great deal. But I think that we're going to have a good weekend with China. I think they have a lot to gain. I do think they have far more to gain than we do, in a sense. We're going to have I think we're going to have a very good weekend. I'm not sure, depending on what Scott says. We Scott is doing certain countries, and Howard's doing certain countries. I mean, I wish I had like 10 more of each.
North points at the 5, East points at the 20, South points at the 35, and West points at the 50.
I think I can say this, Scott, but we're just going to say, because we understand the countries, we understand what they want. Where we're just going to make the deal. In other words, we don't need the country involvement because we've already had it. And we'll say this particular country, which had big surpluses, let's say we had therefore deficits, that this particular country is going to pay 25% tax, or 30%, 50%, or 10%, or whatever it may be. I think we should explain it now. And, one of the things we did here that we'll rarely do is on cars, we took it from 25 to 10 on Rolls-Royce, because Rolls-Royce is not going to be built here. I wouldn't even ask them to do that. It's a very special car. It's a very limited number too. It's not one of the monster car companies that makes millions of cars. They make a very small number of cars that are super luxury, and that includes Bentley and Jaguar. So we have a very special episode in order to help that industry. And it's really, you know,
So
handmade
what would be the
stuff.
first number?
They've been doing it for a long time. Location.
What would the sands of the shore
But that's different than a car company that
be for a number?
makes millions of cars, which they'll be doing in our country. They can build. We have many factories, car plants being built or going to be built very soon. I think we
Oh
can
my
say
God, this is going on.
close to $10 trillion of investment. I think we're actually at that number now. If you add up some of the ones we haven't heard about yet, we have some going up, which the plants going up, and we've spoken to this. They're doing it because of the tariffs. And tariffs have always been used against us. I've never understood. I used to sit back, as you know, when China paid hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs when I was president. But until then, China never paid anything. It really did a big number on us from the standpoint of trade. But we are using tariffs now for our president. And we have now close to $10 trillion. Look at that, 10 trillion. If you look at the past administration, and we're talking about over, essentially 2 months, because you could say 3, but it took a little while to get the office in perfection. It took a little while to get things done, but once we started.
This will be the second one. Hours at the 12 and then point to the east.
You've had years where the United States wouldn't do that in a whole. Wouldn't do 1 trillion a year. Wouldn't do
Can I even do that?
We
This?
did 10 trillion in 2 months. So it's amazing what's happening. We're getting calls, and that has to do with chips, has to do with cars. We used to make chips. We had Intel. We used to make chips. We had a monopoly on chips. Everything was made here. Now, over a period of years, because the presidents didn't know what they were doing, they allowed that business to be stolen.
5 o'clock actually points pretty well.
And you probably were in the same position because you had a lot of chip making capacity, but then you didn't. And we would have said, that's fine. If you want to move it to Taiwan, that's good. But if you want to sell back into the United States,
Eastward I see a crow, darker the days coming
they would have
forth.
never left. But we had people sitting here that didn't understand that.
Oh, that points at east, not west.
Because I'm saying it about 40 years too late. But they're coming back because, we have the biggest chip makers in the world spending, in one case, 300 million.
Oh, of course, you can always point to the middle.
Same as Apple. And in another case, 200 million. And we're going to have a large share, very substantial share of the chip making market.
Why not try west?
Friendly visit. Do you expect that it will just be a formality to break the ice, or are they going to get into substantive negotiations?
East.
I believe it's substantive, yes. I think people like to say yes. We're meeting to meet. We're meeting. So what are we going to do? Talk about meeting again? I think it's going to be substantive. I think we've been saying that. But it's going to be very substantive. But China wants to do something. And
Swan song.
Essentially, they make $1 trillion a year, and now they have absolutely no business because of the tariffs. They have no business, and they want to have business, and we want them to have business. We want them to do well. We want them to do very well. So I think it's going to be very substantive.
Because business has slowed down, as you mentioned, we're seeing as a result the ports here in the U.S. The traffic has really slowed, and now thousands of dock workers and truck drivers are worried about their jobs.
That means we lose less money. You see that? It means we lose less money. Look, China is making over $1.1 trillion a night. Different numbers.
Southward I see a swan.
$1 trillion.
Southward.
Thankfully, if we didn't do business, we would have been better off. You understand?
Oh, Swan Song gets in this now.
I'd like to say they could do better, actually, in terms of the bottom line. We'd like to see China open up. We can compete and, give people something that they've never had access to. And it'd be great for the world, it would be great for our businesses, and I think it would be great for friendship. I really expect a lot. I'm a military. I think that trade can bring a greater friendship. Something, but one of the things that Scott's going to be talking very high on the list is open up and let our businesses go into China. When you talk about a closed country that's a really closed country. I think it would be better if it was opened up. You give people a lot of choice.
Is it possible to point it south and north at the same time? Kinda.
Well, I think that's sad because that has to do with a lot of different things, including that. A lot of past things that we've done. This is very inclusive. We included everything. And that's pretty well said. Yeah, please.
Yeah, we really, the 10% baseline tax remaining in place, is that a template for these future trade deals?
No.
Helping people here?
No. That's a low number. They made a good deal. Some will be much higher because they have massive trade surpluses. In many cases they didn't treat us right. One thing with UK, they are somewhat closed, not like in China as an example, but they always treated us with great respect. They treated us with great respect. The template of 10 is probably the lowest, and therefore they made that deal. But we've had just a very special relationship with them. Like, I wouldn't do that deal with Paris. I mean, unless somebody showed me that there's another kind of Rolls Royce. And there aren't too many. This is a good commercial for Rolls Royce. I get a wonder what I wonder whether you like to buy. Well, the last time this happened, I would be looking to suggest a discount or a very modest discount. Yeah, it's backed up for a bit more for.
He's literally trying to bribe him in the office.
You know, the last time that I ended up buying it,
I don't know what to do here. The sacred clue is too good. But I mean, I have the infinity symbol here.
Yeah, that was not part of the conversation. Our conversation was an economic conversation from start, finish, closed by the president yesterday. This was a business deal, open their markets, and also protect their workers, grow our markets, and help our workers. This is a business religion. I mean, but not nearly as important. I don't want
to help you close the gap between Ukraine and Russia.
I think so. I think it's a natural thing. I don't know. I think we're making good progress. I think it was a little bit different than it was. I think if we weren't involved, then Russia would be going at it. Maybe get the whole thing without our involvement and be able to get it. Supply a lot of the foolish stuff. But we've been sort of made by doing the rare earth little bit. I think that I think that we will be very much involved in trying to get that bloodbath. It's a bloodbath itself. 5,000. You're more than. But it's 5,000 on average a week. Mostly being killed, young, beautiful people being killed. I see the satellite pictures coming back, body part over his heads. It's so terrible. If we can get that stuff, it will be a great accomplishment. We're trying very hard. I think we're close. Mr. Witkoff is talking back and forth.
That is the president in the Oval Office announcing some details about that trade agreement with the UK. Stocks have been reacting fairly constructive. Recession highs were above the April 2 close of 56.70 and not to the highs of last week of 5700. Let's get to Megan Casella, talk a bit about the framing of that deal, Megan, and then trying to raise some expectations for the conversation in Geneva this weekend.
Absolutely, Carl. Those are the two biggest takeaways. The first on the UK side, the news they were there to announce a little bit more substantive than I think some people have been expecting. We did get some meat on the bones of this framework.
Then might go back.
Increased market access for U.S. exports, particularly in agriculture as well as industrials. They also say that UK will be fast-tracking American goods. The U.S. is keeping its 10% baseline tariff in place against almost all imports from the United Kingdom, with few exceptions. Very key detail there that is remaining in place, even as the Exchange is lowering a number of their tariffs. There's also a steel and aluminum trading union that will involve tariffs and quotas on those two metals. On the UK side, what they get is economic alignment with the United States. They'll get a quota of 100,000 cars get to come into the U.S. without paying a tariff. Then the tariff kicks back into place. And no tariffs on Rolls-Royce plane engines, jet engines, and other plane parts as well. The UK is also committing to buying a certain amount of goods from Boeing, and we did see the Boeing stock jump up on as well. Now, what was crucial here too is that both sides, both the president and the UK prime minister, who dialed into this fall to this meeting, said that they are continuing to hammer out the final details here. So the president even acknowledged it could change a little bit.
I don't know. I don't know what to do here. I'm gonna have to noodle around on this more. So really the big clue that I have to work with here is that this box came up, right? And here this is again. Castle.
Then on the China side, really substantial here. The president did say that he was asked if he would lower tariffs against China.
But I don't know how to turn what I have into numbers. Like, okay. And then we also have other clues, like why is there a north, south, east, and west on here if we're not going to use it? I mean, 311, 311, anything 11, it's right on that north. That makes sense. But the second one that's ADD doesn't make sense. 6, I can work that into something. Tor, I don't know what to work that into. LO, I don't know what to work that into. And ET, I don't know what to work that into.
It's going to be very hard for us to break that down, is it not?
Absolutely. It's always difficult to know with any of these investment announcements how much of that was already in place, was already planned. It's very difficult to track those once they're coming in. So the president says $10 billion, yes, from Boeing and that sort of thing, and that we're hearing all of these from other companies. We do our best to track these and we'll continue to do that, but we don't know exactly how that's going to play out. But something certainly to keep in mind as we look at this, we have to see, are they actually following through to allow in American beef and ethanol and chicken? Poultry, as you might know, is always a sticky subject, and some of the British reporters have a number of questions about how much U.S. chicken would be allowed in, because European consumers and British consumers in the past haven't wanted to see that. So the commitments are one thing, the follow through is another.
Pretty jovial gag on Megan as the president continues to take questions. We're some 45 minutes in, dropping Sean Connery's name. We'll keep you abreast on the further headlines as we get a Megan Cassell in DC. Thanks. Trade, of course, is one of the main topics here at the Goldman Sachs Professional Investment Forum.
Okay, great. I'm done with this. Alright, I don't need this music anymore. I don't need to hear the music. Alright, good. What other number core cat where is the statue that I just took a picture of? This guy. CX very clearly. All right, let's do it this way. Castle. CX for sure. T there for sure. But I don't know what the heck T would have to do with How would I translate letters to numbers in this game? Underpass letter, the tunnel clipboard. Grotto note, here it is. It's one that just says oh, I already have it. Yeah, I have it. The grotto note appears to be O oops, O. Maybe it's not the way that I think it is, and then that would make it line up with 6. Perhaps it's the end of the line, and then that also lands with ID. We also have the ID blank, 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 blank. We know 6, 0, R. Unless the quote-unquote graffiti, is there a space on the back of the cloister graffiti? There is. There is. There's a space. That changes things a lot. So this is I. This is O. This is O. This is D. So I do come back with CIX. I don't have a second letter. Oh, maybe it is D. Because if that's supposed to be CIX AD, I don't know if there's another D. Add 6 to LO E blank T, and I don't know if that's 309 then. Am I missing some other clue? Because if you're going to give me a grid with underscores, $109? Alright, I am allowed to switch pieces. Maybe I just need to look through the house better. I think I'm going to host Swish, and I don't know, I'm going to have to see if I can just keep moving around. I don't know. I guess I should consider where I found all of these clues. Like, I found the one in the locker room. I found the one... I'm going to try one more thing. I wonder what happens if I were to dig up... No green at all. Attic would work. I have no reason to think it's not, you know, it's gotta be. It's gotta be. It's gotta be. I really want to dig up Lost and Found. It's got this investor needed silliness. Can I get anything? Wine cellar's kind of okay. Conservatory is okay. Alright. What's in here? I don't need any of this. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Another waste. I could take a showroom. Foundation there is actually kind of cool. I don't know, man. I've got to find something that flips what I'm looking at into numbers. CI6. Ideally, this is not the day. This is not the day for a treasure map. Not the day for a treasure map. Yeah, sure. Maybe treasure maps in here. No, it's not. This was among my best shots at finding it in here. Is it a bishop? It is a bishop. I need to block myself off. I don't know, I'm gonna have to figure out something with dates. Something with dates that I don't have considered yet. Oh wow. What are you doing? The shovel of all things. So surely then there's another place that has more of this. There's got to there has to be something somewhere else that's marked. Has to be. But wherever it is, it's got to be rather obvious, right? Like it can't be so hidden that you'd never find it. And it's only been on assets in the game that have mattered. So it has to be on an asset in the game that actually has some kind of meaning. It's like it's not just a filler asset. It needs to be something that actually like does things. Kernel. Like not this. Well, like that's on an asset that's like part of the game's story, not just some random thing. Like if I was going to tell somebody that there's a clue, right? Then I'd put it on another statue somewhere. I'd put it on something like this. Room 8 would be a reasonable place to put this. room. I feel like I'm looking for a needle in a haystack. It just feels weird. Give me this Curse of Blackbridge again. Even though it probably is just a new clue. Because, you know, if I had a new clue at this point, I'd know what to do. Yeah, sure. Anything weird in this room? Just trying to remember anything in the game that had weird writing. I don't know, I gotta put my leg up. We're about done here. I mean, at this point, I'm very close to just saying, well, let's just go crazy and check every single room. But I'm gonna go back to this. Lost and Found is just really weird. It's a pretty blank room. I wanted to dig it today. I couldn't dig it. Because now that I found something that's not a piece of paper, that thing in... Like, I'm waiting for it to be something in one of these. Like, who cares? Why is this picture here? Why would I put this picture here? Like Herbie's desk, right? Because you would think whatever you write would have to be a lot more... I don't know. This is kind of getting into weird hunting and pecking territory. Like that one we were explicitly told, hey, there's something there. So how far do I need to take this? Is that my hint to go looking everywhere possible? You certainly don't look up at the ceiling a whole lot. I don't know. I'm kind of hurting for ideas here, and this box has always bothered me because you can't really see into the box very well, right? But just like the graffiti, like getting behind something and looking at it. All right, I'm pulling at straws here. All right, I think I'm done. Call it there. All right, Swish is playing. They are nowhere this deep. And I'm just going to be looking. Every time I'm watching people, I'm basically be looking for stuff in rooms. All right. I gotta put my foot up. See you later.